Hi everyone, Alice from Nerdy Chic Bookworm, and today I'm going to be doing a book review about Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healey, which is this book here. I finished this book last week and I gave it 4.5 stars on my Goodreads. This is a book about an older lady called Maud who is very, very forgetful. We think that she's got Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that, although it's not specified in the story itself, but the way it's written, it kind of gives that impression. She has carers coming in once a day, even twice a day, and her daughter comes in to check on her as well. You occasionally meet the granddaughter, but it's mainly the daughter who spends sort of the most time with her. This book is told through the eyes of Maud, and I really enjoyed that because I have never read a book through the eyes of a lady who suffers from dementia, and the way that it was written it was really well written, but the way that it was written, it was very fractured, just sort of like Maud's mind would be. Some of the sentences are quite sort of stop and start. There's also sentences that get repeated quite often because it's coming through Maud, so it's basically her saying something, forgetting that she said it, saying it again, forgetting that she said it, saying it again. So there are sometimes repeats of sentences, and Emma Healey has done this really well in sort of portraying the fractured mind of somebody with dementia. So the premise of this story is it's sort of a murder mystery with a twist. It is about this lady called Maud who is very forgetful. She's got notes all around the house to help her remember things, you know, like turn the light off, don't go outside, lock the door, you know, turn the gas off, and all of these kinds of things. And she kind of has these piles of notes all throughout the house telling her different things. And one day she comes across this note telling her to ring her friend. So she rings her friend Elizabeth, and Elizabeth does not answer, and she gets herself into a bit of a tiz and she thinks that Elizabeth has gone missing. She tries telling people, she tries telling her carers and her daughter and her granddaughter that she thinks that her friend is missing and something's happened to her, and they all just kind of brush her off and don't really take her very seriously. And she gets quite upset and angry about this, so she kind of takes it upon herself to try and figure out what has happened to Elizabeth by herself. And she goes to great and sometimes silly lengths to figure out what has happened to her. I mean, some of the things that she does, some of them are, I can't say funny, but some of them you do kind of see the funny side of it, but you have to really put yourself into the eyes and mind of Maud and how she would feel. And once I did that, I felt quite heartbroken by this book. You can really see sort of Maud's demise throughout this. And one of the best things about this book is it's sort of a two-part book really, because on the one hand there's everything going on with Elizabeth sort of in the present day, but the memories that she's having about Elizabeth and the things that she's getting up to with Elizabeth on a day-to-day basis before Elizabeth went missing is taking her right back to situations and memories that she had with her older sister Suki, who unfortunately went missing after World War II. So this is kind of an unsolved sort of mystery. The police got involved when she was younger, but nothing really came of it. Nobody knew where Suki ended up. there was no body found, you know, there was no word of her, and it just kind of ended up everybody forgetting about it and sort of moving on. And Maud is, as she's thinking more and more about Elizabeth, more and more things about Suki are coming into her mind. So she's kind of getting memories from 70 years ago that's building up to trying to find out what's happened to her sister through trying to find out what's happened to her friend Elizabeth. It's really, really well done. I have never ever read a book like this before, and I really enjoyed the way that it was written. I enjoyed the way that it was through Maud's eyes. I enjoyed the way that it was finalised, and you know, and the end of it was kind of all wrapped up nicely, and I really enjoyed that. It was sad, it was heartbreaking, it was gut-wrenching, it made me cry. I felt really upset reading it. But on the other hand, it was a really, really, really good book, and I would recommend it to absolutely anyone. This book is a very hard read. It was especially hard for me because I have had family members who have had dementia and Alzheimer's. So for me, reading it, I kind of related to it a little bit more. So it did sort of hit me quite hard, and the way that Maud was feeling and the way that she was talking about things and sort of the memories, they're the kind of things that people in my family have acted and how they've felt and how they've sort of, you know, talked about things. So I kind of really related to it. So it did make it a lot more difficult for me. I really enjoyed as well the relationship between Maud and her granddaughter. That's not a very big part of the book, but it was a very sort of comic relief moment of the book. Basically, the granddaughter and Maud have this really lovely relationship where the granddaughter sort of has a joke with Maud. You know, she doesn't take her seriously, and she just kind of lets her say what she has to say about Elizabeth, and she just kind of makes a joke about it and the things that she's forgetful about. You know, the granddaughter doesn't get angry, she doesn't get mad, she doesn't kind of roll her eyes and say, oh yeah, whatever. You know, she just listens, and she's there, and then she makes a joke, and it's just a really, really nice relationship that she has got with Maud, and I really, really enjoyed that. I know, as someone who has had grandparents with dementia, the grandchildren, there is sort of that barrier. You know, when it's your mother or your father who's got dementia, there's that sort of seeing their decline is really, 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 really difficult, because it's your mum or it's your dad, and you know, you want to protect them and look after them. Whereas if it's a granddaughter, you don't have that same relationship. It's sort of a bit distanced, so you do manage to get sort of, it's not as intense, the relationship, so you can have a bit of a laugh and you can have a bit of a giggle. And you know, she kind of makes the granddaughter in this book sort of makes Maud feel human, and that the way that Maud's feeling is okay, because a lot of people do just kind of brush her off and tell her that she's being silly, and whereas the granddaughter says, you know, it's okay, you know, you can talk about Elizabeth whenever you want to me, you can talk about Suki, you can talk about whatever you want to me, and I'll listen. And she even says, like, I'll keep it a secret, I won't even tell my mum. So she kind of builds this bond with Maud. So Maud has this kind of confidant, and I really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really nice relationship in the book to have, because everybody else has just been sort of very dismissive of her. And I really enjoyed the way that Maud reacted to things. That was also really, really good. Emma Healey did write that really well. I can't say too much, obviously, because with it being sort of a murder mystery, you know, there is a twist and it all just kind of gets tied in, so I can't really say too much. But it is a really, really good book, and I would definitely recommend it. They also did a BBC TV adaptation sort of film of Elizabeth is Missing, which I also watched, and that was really good. I cried constantly throughout the whole film. That was a lot more focused on the dementia side of it, not so much of the sort of the memories. The film was looking at Maud's demise and sort of Maud's fractured mind, and it interspersed with these memories of Suki, and it was really well done. I think I preferred the book to the film, I have to say. I felt that the film was a little bit rushed, and it didn't really have sort of the detail that the book does. I did prefer reading the book, but like I said, the film was really, really good, so I would recommend the film as well. It's on BBC iPlayer at the moment. I'm not sure how long it's on for, but it is definitely on BBC iPlayer, and it is a really good watch, and I got a nice big cry out of it, which helped me out a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about this book really, because it was a great book. I loved all of it. I don't think there was anything really that I didn't like. I would recommend it to everyone, and if anyone has any more recommendations on books about people with dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that, I would really be interested in some more book recommendations, because I did really enjoy this and I would like to read some more books like it. So if anybody knows anything sort of similar or in the same sort of style as this book, then please get in touch down below in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. Or if you just want to chat about the book, I am more than happy to do that as well. Thanks for listening. Bye guys.